take a few minutes to let everyone kind of say who it is, first name, last name, possibly an email. If you don't want to give your email, that's fine. We won't take a whole lot of time, but I do want to know who we have online. Who's the audience? All right, just gonna go ahead and move on and do a little brief introduction for everybody that does not know me. So, my name is Jabari Allen. I am a senior solutions architect with Business Automation Pros. We are a full service process automation and artificial intelligence company. And what does that mean? Those big words being thrown around, what does that mean? We basically help small businesses and organizations with employees less than 10,000. So if you have less than 10,000 employees, you fall into the threshold. And this is from this is not from me. This is from small business experts that say if you have less than 10,000 employees. I'm a graduate of Florida State, the JMI Institute of Entrepreneurship as well. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but I take most pride in being a subject matter expert in process automation and artificial intelligence. And everybody wants to know, well, what makes you an expert? Well, not only have I been doing process automation for the last 10 plus years, but I've also received, as recent as last week, 10 certifications in artificial intelligence from prestigious organizations like IBM, Google, Stanford University, Vanderbilt University, so on and so forth. So I've worked really, really hard to better understand artificial intelligence and how it applies to small businesses and organizations just like the ones that are online. I am what you call a certified prompt engineer. So I have taken multiple courses and gotten multiple certifications in prompt engineering. And where my implementation strategies come from is I've taken what IBM has put together, the AI foundations for business, and I have a certification in that as well. So what I've done was I've fused my expertise in small businesses along with IBM's, they call it the AI framework, the ladder framework. And I fuse those two together in order to be able to implement artificial intelligence into organizations like yours. So that is a little bit about me. So again, some of this stuff is redundant because we did go over it last time. We won't spend a whole bunch of time talking about what artificial intelligence is, but some people may not know. So artificial intelligence, it stands for, or AI, because that's the short term. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and what that means is the simulation of human intelligence by machines and computer systems. So the things that we do as humans, type emails, generate pictures, draw, things like that is what artificial intelligence is. It is literally training a software to think like a human using what we call neural networks. Why is AI important? I'm sure everybody knows that if you turn on the TV, if you have social media, AI is everywhere. That's all people are talking about. Your kids are probably using it in school. And quick side note, this is off topic, but I was just contracted by the University of Maryland to develop an AI tool that detects AI from students. So when students are using AI in class, they want to at least be able to know that students are using AI. And so they've contracted my company to help them develop a tool that can detect AI, which we are well on the way with doing that. And then the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council has done a survey and says at least about half of the small businesses across the United States have thought about or started implementing artificial intelligence over the last year, which is Forbes is a source for that. So that means that a lot of organizations are taking a look, and I'm sure based off of the results that we got from the last meeting that we had, quite a bit of you guys are looking into implementing artificial intelligence or have started implementing artificial intelligence into your organization. So some of the ways that our organizations are actually using AI is a process automation. They are using artificial, and this is something that we'll go over to not only deal with customer facing, but internal as well. And a perfect example of that is some of the things that we're going to go over in detail. But so using process automation to make their organizations more efficient. So if you have an office full of paper documents, we can get rid of those paper documents. and paper forms and turn those into digital forms and automate the process behind them. So there's no need for your secretary to have a secretary that has a secretary. We can repurpose those jobs. And then chatbots. So I get asked the question all the time. I've been referred to as Mr. AI Man quite a few times in speaking engagements for the chambers or for different organizations. And everybody always says, how do we use AI in our organization? What do we do? Where do we start? We want to use AI. We want to use AI. And for a while, I did not have an answer. And that frustrated me. All of these certifications, all of this time, I didn't know where to start. But thankfully, over the last 6 months, I can say I figured it out and we have been well on our way. And that's something else that you'll get to see is AI powered chatbots, and not just a little ring in the corner of your website that says, if you got questions, fill out a form and somebody will get back with you. No, we're talking about real live artificial intelligence trained machines that understand your business, understand your customers, understand how you want to speak to your customers, and that actually engage with them. They answer questions, they collect leads, they even set appointments. And so I have a few local organizations. The Boys and Girls Club is one of them, as well as Pittman Law Group, the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce, and the Capital City Chamber of Commerce, just to name a few, who are actually using some of these chatbots, or we're implementing chatbots into their organization. And it's really taking a load off of their front desk person and receiving so many questions for FAQs. And then another one, we've all heard of Chat GPT. If you've heard of Chat GPT, can I get a like can I get a like right here? If you've heard of Chat GPT, what we are doing is, hey Kelly, we are building custom GPTs. So what that means is Chat GPT now allows you to build your own custom tools on top of. Quite a bit of people have heard about Chat GPT. All right. Let's give a drum roll for that. I like doing this thing, y'all. I'm a big kid at heart. Um, all right. So quite a bit of people. So you can build tools on top of Chat GPT. So I built a few tools for organizations. If you have a specific use case, right? Because Chat GPT is a huge tool. It does a bunch of everything. And what we need to be able to do is use it for specific tasks. So I've had clients reach out to me to say, hey, look, I need to build a custom tool. We don't have the biggest budget, but this will be something that's really helpful. And because I have a passion and heart for helping organizations like you guys implement AI, I've said, okay, well, look, we can take a shortcut, right? We can build on top of Chat GPT. And that is something that I've been trained to do, and it has worked really well. So I've done things such as website analyzers. So for myself, with building out these chatbots, I used to have to go and take the time to train the chatbot on your business, copy and pasting. What I did was I went and built a tool on top of Chat GPT that I can just trade your input your URL, so your website, www.yourcompany.com, and it will go and analyze your website and give me the information on your website to be able to train the chatbot. I've done something for a staffing company where they wanted a interview assistant that helps them with building and designing out interview questions and the best way to interview candidates for certain positions. And that has been really successful for them. And then I built a tool that helps with contracts. So looking over contracts, analyzing it, pulling out the key points, and then being able to spit that out without having to read over a 50-page contract. And then one of the things that we're doing is custom AI tools. So if you do have a budget or an idea that you're like, listen, everybody in my industry uses or has a need for this, and we want to build a tool that can assist with this. This is something that we've done. And I'll just give you a tip. Whenever you're thinking about building your own AI tool, the first thing to think about after safety is scalability. You want to make sure that this is something that'll not only serve you, but that'll serve others like you in the industry. That way it'll be well worth your money and you'll see a ROI, return on investment. Moving along. Okay. So I get asked this question all the time. Hey, Kelly, I get asked this question all the time. What is AI? What's the difference between AI and process automation, or are they the same? Well, for me personally, I look at them as one and the same. And I'll tell you guys why. We talked about AI, right? It's using software to complete human like tasks such as creating content, answering questions, generating pictures, or collecting information, or generating information. Process automation is kind of the same thing where we're using software to collect information and move that data or documents around automatically. Both work internally and externally, meaning you can use them on customers and employees. Some examples of internal uses is reports, leave requests. We have organizations that have maintenance requests, like the Boys and Girls Club. They have 9 locations. If something breaks there and they need to submit a maintenance report, that is something that they are usually emailing or texting or whatever type of way that they're getting the information to the maintenance guy. And God forbid he's out somewhere fixing a pipe or something and he doesn't catch that email. Now what? And even surveys. So even surveying your employees to understand how you can improve your organization is a way that you can use process automation or artificial intelligence. And on the AI side, using AI internally, you can do things like build an AI chatbot that answers questions. How many of us, if you have ever wondered, how do I check my lead time within the organization? Can I get a like? If you've ever checked, how do you check your lead time? Or you want to know more information about your insurance, your health insurance, what's covered, what's not covered. Can I get a like on the screen? If you have ever wondered, how do I find this stuff out? So those are all questions that you and your employees may ask. And so instead of having them bombard HR, who is already frustrated with all of us, I know my HR lady gets tired of me saying, how much leave do I have? I want to take a vacation. And Kelly, you look like you're ready for a vacation. So you are included in this. If you ever have those questions, those are things that an AI chatbot can be trained on the internal workings of your organization just as well as the external workings of your organization. So answering questions for your employees about the organization can be something that we can train an AI chatbot to do. Frequently ask questions about your employees. So that's something that you guys want to think about. And then external opportunities to use artificial intelligence or process automation. We all get tired of paper job applications. So any type of job application or onboarding application or request for your services. So we have a lot of nonprofits on the call today. When people want to request your services, they shouldn't have to email or call in. There should be a form that can be filled out and it'll notify the front desk person that says, hey, we got a new potential client or we got a new potential customer or somebody new that we can serve. And here's all of the information that we've been able to collect up front. And I'll show you guys a really, really intriguing example of that at the end of this. And then vendor requests. So we all partner with vendors. If you have a vendor that you partner with, can I please get a like? One like, please. Please, 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 please. And we're gonna get a clap for that. Oh, let me see if I can make I'm obsessed with these little things that this thing does. So if you have a vendor that you partner with, whether that's United Partners for Human Services, whether that's the Boys and Girls Club, whether that is Business Automation Pros, if you have someone that you partner with, okay, I'm getting some hearts. Okay, way to go, way to go, way to go. All right. So these are all external opportunities for us to use process automation. And then I'll just tell you guys, using these types of tools, as much as sometimes we hate them, they make your organization more efficient, which we all need to do because the dollars that you save go back to your employees so you can give a raise. And I don't know about y'all, but I like raises. I want a raise. So employees, and then you can use those dollars to better serve the people that you serve. Because I know we have a lot of people who are just humanitarians. Kelly, I know you're always trying to help somebody, and I'm sorry for picking on you, but it's easy to think about you guys, you because every time I look up, you are doing something, or I've heard a story about how you've been just so invested in our community. This is an opportunity to make your organization more efficient and your job easier. So before I go to the next step, do we have any questions, Justin, that are in the chat that we may want to? Because I know I move kind of fast. I get super excited about this stuff.
No questions, just a comment from Yolanda, where she said she believes in the Western counties in North Florida, they use an AI teen app to help teenagers dealing with stress. And they're programmed to alert for any suicidal talk. And she couldn't remember the name of the app, but just something that she wanted to share in terms of an AI tool that's being utilized within her line of work.
That
And then
is
Kelly put she's very interested in learning about data collection for programs, statistics for grants, and overall program quality.
okay. Well, I'm gonna if you're interested in that, you definitely want to stay on because I'm gonna show you the way that the Boys and Girls Club are blowing the minds of their stakeholders with collecting data. All right, so we're gonna move on. I think we're almost there too. I'm really excited. So I have a question for you guys. What are some internal or external ways that you could see your organization using process automation or artificial intelligence? And I'm gonna just throw some tips out there. Maybe job applications, vendor applications, leave requests, program reporting, any of those things work alongside what we're doing. Client intake, right? Social media automation, absolutely. That is something that the Boys and Girls Club is certainly collecting information to be able to push their social media automation where they're collecting pictures. Program reporting, data for decision making, absolutely. Membership intake, absolutely. PO processing. We love PO processing. We have a really cool PO processing tool. Writing articles, absolutely. Contract bids, for sure. Wow, you guys are on it today. Donor development, for sure. For sure. Membership intake, contract bids, data for decisions, social media, donor development, inventory tracking. And yes, that is one. So quite a few of these. I have my team members on the line. Nora, our PO processing is a really cool automation that we've developed, and it is really helpful to organizations that are processing tons of POs. So yes, that is absolutely real. We're going to give it a few more seconds because I'm excited. Creating grant billing, absolutely, positively. We're going to get us another applause for all of the participation that we're getting online today. Yes, these are all really good answers. Really good answers. Okay, we're going to take about 3 more seconds to see who else wants to submit, and then we will move on. I want to do a hand up. Y'all don't get annoyed with me. All right, all right. We're gonna let this last person, whoever's typing, submit theirs, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Okay, program reporter. Who is the tank automated? Donor development, membership intake, creative billing, contract bids. Okay, so we are going to move on. We got one last person that we're gonna let them submit. All right, let's move on. All of those are really good answers, guys. Okay, so how we approach AI and process automation at Business Automation Pros. I think I mentioned this briefly, but what we do is I've taken we've been trained on IBM's AI ladder framework, which is what IBM, as we all know, is a huge Fortune 500 company, one of the biggest technology companies in the world. They handle the AI for large companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Samsung, any of your biggest, largest brands, Apple, the huge companies. And I've taken their framework combined with my knowledge of how small businesses and organizations work, because I believe that small businesses and organizations like you all are unique. We are all unique. We are special. To me, anyways, we are special, and I believe that we have our special place in the world, especially of automation and artificial intelligence. And so what I've done was taken the framework that I received in the training from IBM, combined with my understanding and expertise in small business, and combine the two to be able to come up with what I use is what I call Fusion AI, which is a new company that we're building out, but that's another story. Where we fuse artificial intelligence and small business together. And the steps are we collaborate, we work one-on-one with you guys, the organization, to understand who are you serving? What is your business model? What are some of the problems that you guys are having? And what kind of data have you been collecting? Because that's the most important is to understand how we can use artificial intelligence or process automation within your organization. And then the next step is collecting that data, right? Taking all the data from the different sources. Some of you guys have paper documents. Some of you guys have electronic documents. Some of you guys have emails. Some of you guys have phone calls where you scribbled on a little notepad. All of these different ways that we've collected data, and then we organize that, right? We take it and put it in one place or multiple places, but we organize the data. And then once it's organized and we can actually read it out, that is when we analyze it and say, okay, this is good data, this is bad data. Somebody submitted a form and they were just a bot trying to get into our organization or trying to sell us some cleaning services. I know I've been getting a ton of cleaning services like, hey, do you want us to come clean your building? I'm like, no, we already have building cleaning. But any of that information that we clean up, so analyzing and cleaning the data up, and then that is when we infuse artificial intelligence and process automation. And that is our approach at Business Automation Pros. So if I get the opportunity to work with any of you guys, you can think about these different phases and these different steps as ways to implement artificial intelligence. This is my grandma used to say, give you free game, $1 million worth of game for free 99. So here is my $1 million worth of game for free 99 to you all, where these are the steps, whether you're working with me or another organization, you should think about artificial intelligence and process automation in these phases, where you force them to say, listen, we want to collaborate and help you guys understand our organization better. We don't want to just jump into using your AI tool. And then these are some really good positive ways that you can use artificial intelligence within your organization. Moving on. I can get my slides to cooperate. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, it's the fun time. So here is my friend and new partner, Casey Dennis, who is the amazing CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend. Casey's organization, the Boys and Girls Club, they have 9 locations over 5 different counties. Casey has 50 plus employees and is serving hundreds of families here in the Big Bend area. Some of the services that Casey decided to use of ours, which he's been literally a real true partner in implementing technology and using it to drive forward, is AI policy consulting. So the first thing that I talked about with you guys and on the last call was one of the most important things that you can do, whether you kind of don't want to or not, it's kind of not an option at this point, is you need to implement some AI policies within your organization. And I'll tell you why. Because we all have employees or ourselves who are using artificial intelligence, because everybody clicked that chat GPT. So we are all using chat GPT to make our lives easier. Well, there are certainly implications to using chat GPT with your organization's information or your client's information. And so what you need to do in order to protect your organization is you need some policies in place. And if you have a hard time with that, our organization would love, Business Automation Pros would love to be able to help you. And we offer 2 services when it comes to that. We offer a template that I can send over that kind of fits most organizations that I can send over. You can kind of plug and play just so you'll have something in place. Or we have a consulting where we can actually come look at you guys, do some training, implement that same framework, but we'll help you with molding that framework around the works of your organization. Both of those are really good. You need something in place. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I mentioned this on the last call again. Facebook faced I think it was $100 million, $200 million lawsuit because they sold all of our information, including our DMs, Kelly, to Netflix. Because a few years ago, if I don't know if you guys remember, but Netflix was losing a lot of customers because they had the worst shows. I didn't want to see anything on Netflix. And I was about to cancel my subscription. And then one day I woke up and they had all of my favorite shows on Netflix. And I'm like, how did they know to do this? Well, they took all of our Facebook inboxes. So Kelly, if you wrote a friend, or Justin, if you wrote a friend and said, hey, bro, have you saw the new whatever movie? Or my favorite movie is Rambo. They took that data and bought and purchased and put new videos based on the information that we shared on Facebook. So that is why Netflix was able to get all those cool new videos, and they've upped their subscription to like $26 now. So AI policy consulting is really important. And then we talked about the AI chatbots, which you guys will get to see here shortly. They implemented the AI chatbot. We're doing some website redesign for them, because once you get some of these AI tools in place, you can get rid of a ton of those pages that you may have on your website. Some of you guys have a lot of information on those websites that people are never going to read, especially when they can just click a little chatbot and ask the question, and the chatbot will give them the information. We pay for our cheeseburgers to be delivered to our front doors now. Why wouldn't we want to go on a website and just go directly to what we're looking for? And then they implemented some process automation. So we have started with implementing some digitized forms and moving that data around. And then they've done some process improvement consulting. So where we aren't necessarily implementing artificial intelligence, we've started doing that consulting. So without further ado, I am going to go right into what the Boys and Girls Club is doing. Justin, I want to stop. I see we do have a few chats, a few add-ons in the chat. So are those comments or questions?
So it's funny you bring that up because it's commentary, but I think it could lead into a question for you. So me and Kelly, we
Okay.
were discussing Tank's AI note taker that he has and within our workshop right now. And she was like, I'm dying to know
Okay.
what this is. So I told her a little bit about it. And then she asked of any softwares that I would know, and I was actually going to bring up Otter AI like Jonathan just did. But are there any AI note-taking software that you're a fan of, or some that you utilize for anybody on the call, including Kelly, that would love this information?
Absolutely, positively. So I have an AI tool called Read AI that is currently taking notes here for me. And the reason why I like Read AI is because not only do I use it on Zoom calls or team calls like this, it goes across multiple platforms. So whether you're on a Zoom call, a Teams call, a WebEx call, a GoToMeeting call, it works across multiple platforms, but it also works in live meetings. So if I'm in a live meeting there with you, Kelly, or Jonathan, or Justin, and I want to take notes, I just turn my Read AI on. It takes the notes for me. I assign tasks to my team, and then I have put some automation to my Read AI that it collects the information if I assign something to my team, and we can push it into our CRM. So I've done some really cool automations with Read AI as well. That is one. Otter is pretty good. I like Otter as well. And there are some other really cool tools out there. I'm gonna give you guys another free $1 million worth of game for free 99 here. When you are buying these tools or implementing these tools, you want to be sure that the data that they are collecting does not is not owned by them. So a lot of these free AI tools, they aren't free. What they are charging you is access to your data. So in those meetings where you think they're private meetings, one of those small fine print things says, hey, Kelly, all of the information that we collect about this meeting, we're going to take it and sell it. We own it. And so that is something that, we at Business Automation Pros as an organization, we help, that's a consulting, because this is one of the things that the Boys and Girls Club uses for that we did not mention, is that we sat down with them and said, this tool is safe, this tool isn't safe. Even setting up their AI on the back end of Zoom, they collect that information and they will sell it, or they will use it. I mean, if you're mentioning something that they could use to their advantage, they'll do that. So yes, please be careful. Free is not good. I learned this in microeconomics at Florida State. There is no such thing as a free lunch. And that is true. So even Chat GPT, I have a few firewalls built. And I think I mentioned this in the last call where a lot of these AI tools, you may have it pulled up in a window. So you see I have like 50 different windows. If I have an AI tool pulled up and it may be one of those free tools, it will search those websites or those windows for any data that it can use and take advantage of, or information about your organization. So let's say I have a Word document pulled up in one of these tabs about my organization's infrastructure. The AI tool can read that even though it's not in that window. So you got to be really careful about using these tools. And again, make sure you have some policies in place. And if you need help with that, our policy templates are very affordable. Our consultant is very affordable. And then if you guys having a hard time affording some of this stuff, just reach out. We can work something out because I really care more about the organization than I do about money. Although my light bill is kind of high these days, I do care more about your organization being protected, and I do not want you guys to be on the news. So, anything else, Justin, before we get started with the Boys and Girls Club?
No, that was all. I was to say thank you definitely for the explanation. I think we've all learned something definitely through that response. I do remember you discussing that point last time about those firewall protections that you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the Boys and Girls Club's website. Again, we are doing a website redesign right now because as you can see, they have a lot of pages on each of these tabs, right? There's things that people may want to know, but they're not going to read. And then we have our cool little AI chatbot buddy that says, hey, if you are looking for, this is a lot of information that we are very unlikely to read. And now I'm happy that that happened because you'll see the AI chatbot pop up and it'll actually make a sound that says "doo" to capture the attention of the person that's visiting your website. So give us a few seconds to load here so I can show you guys. And then again, it says looking for BGC info. I can help. And then you click it. And then it says, I'm BGC bot here to help with any questions. What's your name? Let's just say John. And then it should say something like, cool name, John. Nice to meet you. So John, what brings you here today? And then it offers their top 3 services and then an additional, I have questions about the BGC of the Big Ben. And basically what this does is each one of these takes them down a different funnel. So it takes the user down a different funnel. And this offers the opportunity to ask any questions about the BGC. So I'm just going to show you guys really quickly how this works. And it says, I have questions about the Boys and Girls Club. Well, John, if you have questions, we have answers. What questions do you have? What is the cost of the Boys and Girls Club? Boom. The Boys and Girls Club of the Big Ben offers service to families at little to no cost. Most families pay either nothing or nominal fee for their children to attend. If you have more specific questions about particular club, it's best to contact them directly. And then I can ask any questions, where locations, who's the CEO, whatever I want to know about the organization because it's trained on the organization. All right. And then everybody wants to know, well, where does this information go? Well, they have it set up that the front desk person receives an email whenever these are submitted. So hopefully Joy isn't mad, but this is kind of how it looks. And then you can get more into more detail. So these are just this is the way that it looks when they collect the information. So it just kind of goes to give an email notification, or we can go into a spreadsheet that, we collect this data via a spreadsheet. All right. So now we can go into some process automation, which is my favorite part about one of my favorite things to do. So the Boys and Girls Club, let's see, why is this being all janky here? They had each of their 9 locations, the club director for that location every month has to submit a monthly report. And on that monthly report, they are collecting information. Let's see. I'm sure you guys see this going on. I don't know what happened here. I may just have to not show you the paper document and show you how the digital form looks. So if this doesn't load, we'll just jump straight to the digital form. Okay, it's taking a little bit too long. Maybe if it loads, I'll come back to it. Their form was a paper form. It was a Word document that they were using, and it collected a bunch of information. All of the directors were having to write it out on the paper form and take some pictures and email the pictures to the person. And it was just a very cumbersome form. So our organization, we have a bunch of tools in our tool belt. One of our tools that we use is called Laserfish. It's what we use for some of our process automation and building out these digital forms. And so we were able to build out this form that replaces, so that instead of them having to write these things out, we collect this information now on a digital form that they can do from their phone, from their work laptop, if they're on the go, if they're at the park watching the kids while they're doing it, versus having to have that piece of paper that can get wet, that can get crumbled up, that can get lost, that can get, this is a form that they have to use to submit to keep their funding. So this is not something they can afford to not do. So they are, let's see, it might have loaded by now. Oh, it's starting to, okay. Because I do want to show you guys what it looked like on paper, just so you have a better understanding of what we were able to take them from and where we have them now. So it looks like it's still loading. So it collects information like what month it is, obviously the staff member, which club, the attendance, and then it obviously has some information. So we have all been in a position where we did not know some information, or we didn't submit it. And you can't go back and say, hey, look, make this, fill this paper out. Okay, here it is, guys. Let me hide the email. So this is what the paper form looked like. This is their monthly report right here. And let's hide this email. Oh, you don't want to hide for me? Come on, buddy. Uh-oh, show, huh? Hide. All right. So this is what their monthly report looked like. It was a form that they were literally writing on, and they had to write out all of this stuff. And then with the pictures, they were actually emailing the pictures and a separate email along with the form, which it was a nightmare. And so what we did was we built out a form that matches their logo, matches their branding, and it collects all of this information, and then we store that information. So once it's submitted, the director of programs is able to overview it. She's assigned a task. So once this is submitted, she logs into Laserfish. She gets an email for each one, but then she logs into it and she is able to see a dashboard that looks like this, in which you guys got to forgive me because this is our demo dashboard and it has all of the forms that we built for various organizations and different documents. But one of the cool things is we have tasks. So this notification bell will ding and say, hey, you have a new monthly report that you need to review. And this is automatically auto tracked. So you can't say, well, I submitted it and then you didn't get it, or whatever the case is. There's an audit trail that comes along with it. But it also assigns a task there. And that says the manager review for this document. And so it lets you know that, hey, look, you need to deal with this. And it has some high priority tasks. So we are able to not only submit those tasks and give you a task assignment, but we can prioritize it. And as you can see, the colors are, some are yellow, some are orange, and then some are red. So you get a notification. And with you guys, if you guys are the decision makers in your organization, we can kind of make it where it's an accountability tool. So if you have a deadline that you need to meet, maybe they submit it and you need to do something, or it can go back to them to say, hey, look, you need to get this done by a certain time. But either way, they are able to submit this form, and then a task is assigned to someone. And as that routing and approval goes, you'll be able to see where in the organization these tasks are assigned to. And the really cool thing, somebody said, being able to take information in and view it for reporting purposes. So all of those fields that are on this form, and let me show you guys a couple of the other cool forms that we've been able to do. So something like this for FAMU, assignments or responsibilities. So we can build really cool looking forms that convert to your phone or mobile device. That's assignments or responsibilities. This is another one where incident report form, and all of these fields that we're collecting on these forms, we can look at in a really cool manner, right? So these are all collected. But if we wanted to look at this, Kelly, in a pie chart, super simple, right? We can see the percentage of people that submitted the information. Well, maybe in this for your stakeholders is always going to be really good because they can see the data that you guys are collecting and make decisions and say, oh, we served more people in this area code than this area code. And it's really simple to do. This is just from the form fields that we're collecting on the form. So we can look at all of these different fields in different formats, pie charts, bar charts, different graphs, and all of this stuff can be downloaded. And this is one of the ways that the Boys and Girls Club is really going to be able to impress their stakeholders, because they're going to be able to make data-driven decisions, not opinionated decisions, not, oh, I think that we should put another club in this area, or we serve more kids over here, or whatever service that you're providing. You can make really data-driven decisions by simply looking at charts of the information that you're collecting. And this goes on and on and on and on. And this is all things we can download this as a CSV file that can be uploaded as an XL. So we can really, and I love the way that it's automatically color coordinated. This is not something that we have to customize. These are all things that are off the shelf functionality for the tool that we were able to serve them for. And so this is one of the ways that the Boys and Girls Club is implementing technology to help not only save time, because we've been able to cut back their program reports, monthly program reports was taking on average 3 days to get submitted. Now we can submit those and they are down to 30 minutes, saving them a ton of time for submission and a ton of time for processing these and this is just to start with. So next we're going to their incident reports, and we're going to deal with all of their internal forms. So here's another $1 million worth of game for free 99 tip. If you're going to approach process automation in this way, we highly recommend that you start with internal forms, things that your organization uses internally, because what that'll do is that'll allow you to, one, focus on making the organization more efficient and getting used to using these types of tools. And then we can go to something like external applications. And it looks like, Kelly, you have a question? Go for it.
So it's interesting because right now we're actually in the process of researching for a data management program, something, to keep track of all the program data from all the programs. And
Okay.
it's outrageously expensive. Like yesterday, I almost fell out of my chair when I got a quote for one of the ones that are online. Do you offer anything, or do you have something where it would do that, but the local smaller nonprofits could get a version of it or benefit from it? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I clearly don't.
Absolutely. So a tool like this, so you're saying something that kind of like what we're looking at now?
Yes. Like where
Yes.
you can pull in data from girls or women, or if they got it from counseling or they went to camp, but you can get it all pooled into one place and be able to tell the picture of who we serve, but also be able to pull out information for individual donors.
Absolutely, positively. I think this tool is the best tool. I mean, we use it within our organization. So Business Automation Pros has our own version of this that we use internally. And then this is the tool that our go-to tool that we serve our clients. Obviously, it has to be affordable because the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend right up the road is using it. We have other local organizations like doctors' offices that are using it. And the reason we chose this tool is, for one, I have a heart for small businesses just like us, right? This is so I've been approached by those big companies like, look, sell our tool. We want you to sell our tool, but it's not affordable. And we don't just look at the software prices. We have to build these tools out. So the whole, and we've been able to work with some budgets that are not the largest, but even if we can't serve you with this tool, we'll figure out a solution for you guys that kind of fits your budget. Now, you do have to have a budget, but we can figure some things out, and I'm more than happy to jump offline and talk to you. And one of the cool things about this is, let me go back and show you guys. Not only does this collect that data, but we also have a repository here. So this is a digital filing cabinet. So if you have paper documents in your organization that you can't destroy, you can scan those documents. So the process behind the Boys and Girls Club is really unique. Every time one of those program reports are submitted, a folder is automatically created for the month, the date, the location, and the program director that submitted it. This is not something that you have to take a manila folder out and write down the date and the month and the time it was submitted and then go and find somewhere to file it. We've automated the process for that actual form to be stored within a digital repository. And so this is one of the really cool things. And then I can show you guys, if you are interested in a demo just on this software, I would love to be able to do that, because it'll show you guys, I can show you guys the ways that we import documents, the ways that we export documents, the ways that we can redact information on documents and put stamps and highlights and all the cool things that we do with the doc. So this is our digital repository. And if it looks familiar to you, it's probably because it's built on the Windows on a Windows platform. So if you've ever used Microsoft Office, Word, or any of the things, that's probably why. So as you can see here, we have folders within a large folder. We have subfolders. So these are all clients or potential clients demos that we run all the time. And so these monthly program reports, it's a folder created. And then within that folder, we'll have a few submissions. I don't think we've done a ton in the demo space for them, but see how it's organized from January all the way to December. We can color code it. So if we have one that is for, let's just say August, hopefully we have one in here. We can run searches on our entire repository via name. So this is something that this will take a whole nother demo to be able to show you, but I would love to be able to jump on and show you guys, if you're interested, how this works and just being able to store documents within a repository. So Deja Evans is somebody who submitted a program report, and I'm just going to show you guys briefly how that looks, and then we got a few minutes for questions. To be able to show you guys questions, but we've attached all of their the pictures that they attach to it. So they're stored the images. And so one really cool thing about this tool is it doesn't just store documents. It stores pictures, it stores videos, it stores audio recordings. So we have police departments that are using this whenever they hang up their body cams and they check out of the job for the day. Overnight, it stores their body cam images within a stored repository. And we have these folders and repositories built out for different divisions of an organization. So HR has their own folders that are only the people with the right credentials can see them. Finance has their own. Maintenance has their own. So we can really break it down and get as granular as we need to. And again, I don't want to go way crazy in, because I can talk about this software for forever. But if this is something that you guys are interested in, definitely DM me, definitely email me. If you look into the chat, I have Let's see. If you look into the chat, I'm going to copy and paste, Command C. I'm going to put a link that you guys can reach out to me. I don't know where the chat is. I don't see the chat, but I will figure it out. If you guys are interested in a demo like this, I would love to demo this actual software to you guys to really show you. Okay, here's the chat. Command V. And maybe this is something that we can do all together. But if you are interested in this, I would love to show you that. And then I have we have a really extensive tool belt here at Business Automation Pros where we are able to do some really cool things with a variety of budgets, with a variety of responsibilities or solutions that we need to build out. So this is something that's affordable. I would love to talk in more detail about it. So we got 5 minutes left. I don't want to use a whole, and it is HIPAA compliant. So if you are asking, we have clients that are medical practices that are using this for their patient intake, and it is really locked down. The cool thing about it is if you're worried about somebody having access to different information, don't worry, because our team will never have access to the records that you guys store in here. First of all, in order for you guys for us to be able to even work on your tool, you have to go in and give us access as a support user. And then we still don't have access to your repository. Everything within this tool is audit trail. So if somebody logs in and they do anything, they look at anything, they email anything, first of all, a lot of those responsibilities when we set it up are taken away from the team if they don't need to do it, but it's all audit trail automatically. So we can always look at, and I'll show you this, and then I'm gonna let Justin see if we have any questions. Let's see. I'm out of it. Let's see. This may be a little bit more difficult, but this is a perfect reason for you guys to jump on a demo with me. Again, we can build really beautiful branded forms and help you guys get away from those paper documents and collect that information. And we can run really cool reports on not just the form, but the performance of the task. So workload progress. So you can see, I promise this is my last tidbit. We have a client that had patients who are their front desk staff. It was like 4 girls working up front, and they were wanting to know, why do we have 3 of these young ladies who are answering all of taking in all of the patients, and then 1 girl. So all 3 of them averaged about 20 of them, and then 1 person averaged about 4 or 5. And so he went and asked, he was like, the office manager asked, well, I noticed that you are only processing about 3 patients and everybody else is processing about 23 to 25. And she was able to say, well, honestly, I'm not really a people person. I don't like talking to people. So if they allow me, I like answering processing, doing the billing, and she was good at billing. So they were able to make the data-driven decision to say, you know what, instead of you having to answer and engage with patients, how about we make you the billing coordinator? Because the other girls did not like doing the billing. She did. And so they made a data-driven decision versus, hey, you're fired because you aren't processing patients, and said, you know what, you are now the billing coordinator. These 3 girls handle the phones and the patients up front. And they made a data-driven decision that really helped their organization become more efficient because they can look at processes like this. And they can really just I'm literally doing just clicking a few buttons to be able to, and this is stuff that we can set up these and show you guys how to save these searches. But we are able to look at the number of tasks. Obviously I'm the demo, but if we had multiple people within our organization, multiple employees, it'll show I did 4, she did 6, he did 12, whatever the case is. And you can run this over a period of time. So we're not talking about this week. Let's run it for all. We can really get granular. So we got 1 minute, Justin. Do we have any questions? Feel free to shoot your shot. I'm sorry for being so excited.
Yes, you have 2. They're both from Kelly. The first one is, should any website developer be able to integrate the bot?
I would say get someone who knows what they're doing. Implementing the bot is one thing, building the bot out is another thing. So I will tell you this, be careful, just like everything else. The bots are the worst free tools because they are the ones that are really owning your data. So it took me a while to choose the platform in which I designed bots on, because a lot of them in the fine print says we're sharing the ownership of your data. And so they're collecting this information and sending it off to their own databases. I had to ask Casey for permission to be able to access this, the responses here that I've been able to demo to you guys today.
And then her second question is, are there any programs for note-taking that you know that are secure?
Yes, Read AI. Otter is secure as well. So Read AI and Otter are both secure tools that I know for a fact that I've read the fine print.
Perfect. Do we have any more questions from our audience before we close out?
So one thing that I'm going to offer to you guys before we go is you can get a free AI process automation consultation if you email me at info@businessautomationpros.com. I'm going to put that in the chat. So on behalf of the United Partner, usually we charge like a few $100 for these. You can email me info. Yeah, thank you. Whoever put that in the chat. Thank you. If you want a free process automation, artificial intelligence consulting, I'll give you guys a free opportunity for the month of September. You have to book it in the month of September. On behalf of the United Partners for Human Services, if you want to sit down with me and talk about process automation, about your organization, some ideas that you have, all things, feel free to reach out. I would love to be able to point you guys in the right direction.
Thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you, Jabari, for, again, your wonderful subject matter expertise as it comes to artificial intelligence and business automation. We are so excited to have you these last 2 months with this two-part series and exploring artificial intelligence and now integrating and utilizing it within your organization. Just have a few brief announcements before we log off. The first thing, I got muted for a second. The first thing is our annual membership meeting will be held on Thursday, September 19th at 2 p.m. Please come out, as we'll be holding board elections within that meeting, as well as updating you all about a lot of the great things that are going on within our sector. It will be at the TNL Performing Arts Center. Again, the TNL Performing Arts Center, which is at 1553 South Monroe Street, Tallahassee, Florida 32301. And we're so happy to also have Ground Ops providing coffee and some wonderful, delicious sweet treats that they have within their bakery and brewery and bakehouse, roastery and bakehouse, excuse me, that they have recently opened within the area. The second announcement is our next workshop will be featuring Adam Watson of Watson and Associates, and it will be focusing on the role of a board treasurer. And that will be September 24th at 2 p.m. again via Zoom. So we'll start to send out some wonderful announcements about that workshop coming up with him. Really happy to have you all here again this morning, joining us for this awesome workshop that we had this morning. Thank you all for joining us as always. Please be safe as you continue to go through this week. And if you have anything that you need from us and the team here at UPHS, please let us know as soon as possible. Thank you again, Jabari, for your time as always. And please stay safe.